years, also don't believe the hype. So one here drew baby abema on some kayeno. I'm almost do be no omajawa chidi. I think the way he has dealt with Jenna, yeah, the Biana, yeah, about you almost so a general forms so be you are no. So it's on him, sir. Your general forms for you, but I'm me feel second.
Me want me come in my just in being on the back. I say, can I say maybe?
Okay, who my headline again to go do one? I think
in Sometymer held hostage because Tamale City were beaten by Balfour Academy.
As I say, Sometymer held hostage by one
by fencing. Omune Stephens na koboye. Ena omotie say yabo Balfour City Balfour for na bo. Tamale for no omo say dem Sometymer for omo back omo man bachara.
Ntoma mama.
Omo si ye di soldier for ni police for nyina kwayansa. Sana age na tamana eni enyan. Omo bass no kra no problem ba ho. Bass no come ni ya boom boom place no bi so ajo mo beatings kakra fan.
Na boto yuzu na Tamale no.
There be where Tamale City for no. Where Tamale City for no ba for no. Omo die ni. You provide the pictorial evidences of Sometymer so there so ya be kan ho. Na tamana eni enyan. Na eni enyan papa.
Na wa mo bass no yellow no ya wan.
Yellow no ya Tamale City for. After ye ba ifo so Sometymer so omo the bass bi na kwa so ye de nyina so.
Okay.
Ba be ka ho. Tama ensem akasia sisa so de general secretary say omaye he said omagada bibia wi evidence ni bibia umbia wonya wi ntom de kwakoma police for no na omafia se acheche nkofo no mo wode won yaba say we free na crown obe ka asem afa match facing ho ye be fro
him
FGF
I'm referring to one.
Referring to stakeholders no.
Like who?
Or you should the West stakeholders. Me find say stakeholder be a stakeholder.
Okay. But I'm not meaning stakeholder. Won't me prem.
Because yes is for stakeholder.
On Ghana Media Commission, on your SWAC, no on your GJ. You can call me. You don't work under GFA. Won't me prem.
To provide evidence.
Only any legal basis to invite you to open a copper uncle. Police never my phone, not him. Musabi, I saw the old children proof, all the way proof. That's so be a
negotiation out did
Martino Mumram train, maybe I'll be the mammy first one answer. Jimbo Bry, Nafe, Kofi Ricky,
legendary.
Yes, I went this weekend.
But I share Friday, and I can't watch them Saturday until you really. Say Juvenile Tower midweek Coppa Italia final. And to me now Friday no.
But we league table no. As a Roma coaches.
Roma better sees. It's a large with the fit. And
but I know Graham said I could be wait my some home. Will be wait what's up? There was some position on standing game. No, I got a standing game with Mbappe and Gawi.
Oh, Cecily Usikana make I to also say. No. Oh yes, Ajman was.
I said, Ombesi.
May not be the mechanics of a more outstanding game.
Difficult game.
Oh yeah. Then it means this is why we see Frontina is a very difficult game. So,
the money. My dear Marcus, almost couple final in a weekend in Nguyo.
Yeah.
Liverpool did not win.
Yes.
Madrid were beating.
Yeah.
The final for no match is equal this time. No,
so in one way or the other, so even so, my picture be said, or more conserve a lot of energy for the final. And maybe or more and from when you call and this is Papa. I say Jose Mourinho. No, he doesn't see a final and miss it. Oh, European Cup final. No, I call no, so no exactly. And to be the drew no. Some mathematically, wait me qualify for top 4. Fine. Wait me qualify for Champions League. And to beat me managing the season in Wodri. No, the Nina Conference League and no AS Roma. And that will be monumental for Roma as a football club in Italy.
We do a quick comment on doctoral research, and I mean, was it one you don't analyze, 2 you are emotional, you are sensational. That's why I don't listen to you. That's what my doctor. I still a researcher.
He's a researcher, yeah. As I'm not kind of kakra.
Okay.
Me say to some extent bia or call far kakra. Bayana mesumu opinion
say man kuna asem.
Yeah.
Ena mo kotena in studio. Ena mo discuss it. I wonder how he heard it because he said he doesn't listen. Meaning because a reported speech obi na be a ontie nti no obi na tie be ka kire no. Ti be any chrono presentation na man hear that emotional. And you say Yana, you are influenced. You are influenced, you are emotional, you are sensational. That's why I don't listen to you.
It's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate.
Just initial comment on everything I face. Yes, I'm
me sure say baby who yeah. But me tell some journalists.
How do you know that we can one?
And to say what we can look at one I don't watch one can one way you
okay, but what they told us and they say as summer I could be part of it. So because na maybe any car crown and you will be boodia or more sassy because I jibo na but my point is it necessary for him to go that tangent?
Me problem nye the area with unknown journalists, but how he has given Amankona out for journalists to discuss, whereby he coaches player na FNS Amankona. No baby me wo problem.
That was the point.
But me dey say na asema wo kan ye no. The moment was Sam no say me tell no. Na me hwe me ho na asem no mfa me ho I will not talk about it.
Okay. In the morning early on na me ka say you see the Bema waka se me emotional na sensational na influence no.
Aye.
Ora na ka bro fusa no.
Oh na dey. Tama.
No na bro fu na dey.
Oh tama. Tama. Na dey Monday.
Baby an bro fu kudu.
Oh tama.
And dey too much. Me dem ka say.
Na go kwasa dey asem na wo kan no.
Oni so ade ba kwa ma realize about coaches and players ne say mostly so what the modern gamer coaches the moment they would decide say me pass Messi a chess of my background checks on the player. My memfa jogging club on example obeto Luis Diaz on my Liverpool the team Echo Colombia to look at his background. The same working in Liverpool ye not Tottenham for so ye. So I hear club how he signed the players and say open players are Brazil players he can control. So what the mention say? It be fun son a player and Mrano. Now when you play any background in baby me feel say prosper echo far on a mankona issue ni say meti hey I know say ono and a request for a mankona. So baby a mankona then a dibiano and you different from the no yen wa Chelsea. The amankona so ye bibi wakotokwa and you different from the no yen wa Chelsea. It's the moment you tell the club go and buy amankona. A chere say at the end of the hu nyina ma ne ya amankona no wo prosper na togum we are ready to manage it. It is a
full package.
So what the better say it is a over public na you busa question about a player a player I want to recommend na and for any issues I want to know what them you have to find a way to control it, not to throw the player to the public to the extent say maybe people will feel say even there is a problem between the player and the coach. So what did the mention say? And only baby me worry kaka about how this amankona issue prosper and handle. And I think same too. And I said yesterday okay no. Say bibi a wa amankona ho bia wo po he has to manage it. And players also ho ahomete. Aya 1, aya 2, aya 3 then they will start forming camps. At the end of the day, say resource nkoya Kotoko board, Kotoko management, they will not go and sack about 30 players no register or no. A you coach ni bedi kan about and send your players no problem.
Okay.
Until I think say anka enra de nsi wa na obi busa na mankona issue so I will handle it. He's my player. I will find a way to handle. And I say everything is going all right. So baby, no matter baby, see what them. By a bad one, we find a way to manage
Captain,
it.
quick one.
Coach Papa Ogun, 3 of the words we use here describe journalists in our part of the world, not in Kumasi. Area emotional and sensational, fantastic. The best description of young journalists are you influence what I mean. I'm free.
Tell us, you could be emotional.
So you consider you are emotional.
You could be emotional.
Sir, most of you in support.
Me, I'm not emotional.
Yes, Sentinel Bukai say, "Why now? Who are the some by now?"
Also, you agree with him.
I agree with him because say most of young journalists I call by sports stadium, I call matches. You behave with supporters. You behave as supporters. But there's a thin line between young journalists and supporters.
In any case, you Baba na some no kind na the
if I could talk to American
behavior at the stadium. Also, me be specific. Also, you agree with him when he says people are emotional. And what makes you agree with him?
The moment I agree with him when he say, your behavior towards Asante Kotoko players and Kotoko team, no, am I more or less a more of supporters than journalists? Most of us.
And that makes you emotional.
And that makes when the supporters
that is enough to be
good.
Emotional.
Like emotional attach as supporters the man Kotoko no. Journalists ain't in home film. So corners the you press box war. Sometimes some of the things that your colleagues need be know. You ask yourself, now we are supporter and answer we journalists obey you. That thing like any referee. And my sometimes criticism be a coach in so no. ABS supporter na journalists no. Be at your studios na anka.
So you are
to that extent.
Obetina studio now we emotional.
Ebinom men ka say me in person. Sometimes me to me. For example, when King Faisal is in a me to me. Which
so
I believe
you agree that you are sometimes emotional.
Sometimes yes. Sometimes yes.
Okay.
2
and because you are emotional sometimes, you think the other genetics are also emotional.
It's not about me and them whole example, but it's something that I've seen.
Well, I'm asking questions, and
it's not because of me, but I'm just say.
Maybe because you agree that sometimes we are emotional. No?
Yes, as someone as I am. But something that I've seen with my naked eye. Sometimes I call some to even advise them. What I say? Quickly, everyone home and say no. I mean, different from the ordinary supporter. Me some yes quickly no my grandpa also but you or call to the or call to I am Western more than even the supporters here.
He's right in describing journalists
in that aspect. Say more of Manchester United fans say supporters now my pandit no.
Yeah, let's keep it here.
And yes, sensationalism and also spot on.
So how would anybody be sensational on the issue of Amankuna?
Oh, say been to America say been my mouth. Then I say man no more. But all my mouth. Amankuna as a manager Amankuna, as a Amankuna, as a so many Amankuna, as a
that is the emotions aspect.
No my very sensational about the stories concerning Amankuna. How
what for instance could anybody say about Amankuna? A bema story na sensational.
For example, the coach granted an interview said that Amankuna should up his game. Only know that level now. Our officer or expecting. Me, I don't see anything wrong with when the coach say that.
Really?
Of course.
Publicly?
Of course.
Wow.
Of course, but I don't see anything wrong with that. Wow. What I say, it means he's expecting more from Amankuna, and for that he thinks, he's a bad player.
You think there's nothing wrong?
I don't see anything. Maybe me, I don't see anything wrong with that.
A coach of Asante Kotoko, a player. I know they invested a fortune. Top player of the club spent on him. What's a new level?
Okay, if you tell me to up my game, is it anything wrong?
Publicly?
It depends on
it. I sit on this radio and tell you, standard now in no repair. He
never said as a new. What as a free said the boy no level boy no one. Maybe you bet me equal to that,
So I can tell you that on this radio, you think there's nothing wrong. Maybe say me busa, so that I get the case, I get the test case, and check I'll start doing same. O say, o coach, e catch o abonting, say o level nunu, wa standard.
It depends on the question that you busa no. I would answer.
It's my question.
And you coach to one or evaluate players.
I think the question is
you can play the tape. I think you have the tape. So what tape now?
The question for me is certain organizations should be measured.
That's why I make us say if you play the tape, you will get to understand the coach more on how he said it. And the American worse.
It's not a tape.
It depends on how you want to use words. And the Bamana say abusive and I say
it is not.
And yet it is me from the coach in the canon. I have no problem with how we see canon. Of course, you know you
have not told me what constitutes sensationalism.
And I may kind of say
on the issue of Amankuna.
And I may baron. The Amankuna sem no.
Places say if you're a leader, you can say things about your subordinates publicly depend on the question you ask.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
On Namankuna no, say some of our colleague journalists epic no. The trouble coach no. Criticizing no. Sometimes one say any person no or feelings. Say we are no this say na person me can. But the pa afa no mo to say no dey can program say kana. That's where the sensationalism comes in.
You think that's sensational?
Of course, say yeah, man, I look good in the eyes of the people. Meanwhile, I'm just going to be ambassador to know. Ya put your son can because
outside there's no will play and look good, and you think it's not like that. I'm more mountain to improve that in the amount. But obviously, no, say
no. Oh, turn a man. Meanwhile, I don't know who is or go set him no more. And yes, I know performance or the matimo. I just said over Kano because you use church diastic. I don't measure Amankuna. But Obi no where Amankuna be a even I'm not. So it's not Amankuna. Uber was a serious canon some. Instead, no say Obi boy and I advise boy. No, Emano, I put the game rather than say a person pigeon cotton. If the coach will team when you cry Amankuna movie. And Amankuna, don't know Amankuna more, and the cinema. It's not Najuma or you know. More coaching more than 11 players. You can choose from. Obia, Oman results on Quadia. And when you show a coach to play but like not striker king. One the cast open, and the buy. And then the coach that decided to say, Omono. It is because there's something one open players more than we do. But say yes, you picking up.
The last part of it, take it out. So will be more than we do.
Of course, we do.
You sit here and criticize people.
I criticize.
You see the fact that Ben Harry and say all you know about Harry is better than Obi.
I don't think the coach is.
So don't say that. You know me, but when I say Obi more than we do, and I'm saying that to criticize or to praise, you don't need so Ben Obi. I criticize based on what I see.
Okay.
The whole can also a certain position. That's your understanding of PR. But that's why I kept quiet. Me understand.
I think that I'm not doing PR for the coach too.
No, me see your understanding of PR.
Okay.
I'm not talking about coach, no.
Okay.
Me feel say, one, you're a coach, you have a responsibility.
Yeah.
And one of your responsibilities is to improve players. Yeah. So when you are giving players, send you na bako or momo day said the open nengo for motia bontin the so it is a PR work you need to do. Oh, Amankuna might have some challenges, but we are working on him. And I say you don't understand what is going on. So I'll allow you, but me as a coach, and we hear coaches say this, I'm working towards it, and I hope that very soon there are a lot of players or more clubs Abidjan or Tiasnai. They are 72 million. When's the last time we saw a crab a bobo?
No,
Now that more or chess about the most expensive player. But it's hard for you to hear the player says a coach says that no level no more influence in but some of us think that that's not the way you go.
That is what I mean.
But we say there's nothing wrong. So I have to agree with you.
No.
But I mean the moment you start doing that and
no,
it's attracting unnecessary discussion.
I'm breaking it down into 3. And I'm because 2 minutes argument. But I'm because I'm the influence I will use this year.
I've never said
you
use the word influence.
Men can't influence us.
Oh, so
that who has influenced you?
See, coach, as you have been influenced, and for that, what they can some. And when we use you, I mean, free say go too far, because if you tell me, say you are influenced,
your evidence. How do you?
Once one show you're not there.
No, that's how I say. What's the question? Answer. So you can't say no, so you're right.
You are
not asking
the emotional aspect of it, sensationalism aspect of it, but the influence aspect of it. That's where I disagree with you.
Some journalists have been influenced. So what are you saying?
Well, on Chesa, you know out. No, is that we can ask. Three different ways. And three different ways.
Only information on can. What
is it?
If I can't and three.
Mintu fan kan.
Go be mintu fan kan. Yeah, they account one amount.
Wafa. O dey. Wafa. Now we not
quick one.
Once again, recant ashes. Yes, ashes. In the first place, you know.
Antonio Conte na mixed feelings.
Antonio Conte. Enti the way no wa ni abeje ho ana say.
A trainer who said this is the best result.
As ba so kan on Saturday ni say.
Pep cruise. And I will want you konya and renye they can cut off our head on Thursday. Point different one. But Everton is doing well. The last game was written.
But no maybe a so Premier League in no many ho pa. Manchester United the legend yen discuss or because say person how bad
Manchester
4-0 yeah born again me almost 4-0 no very shameful results but netene say
I don't lose their game
say person who how our club be sink pa so low when club ni be lose na enye hwe biu like it's nothing. Manchester United losing 4-0 see
and no lady beat your TV no so well my key point be say rebuild has become very difficult now.
Yeah.
And to one way now my team no come from now but it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time. I give examples of Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger.
The most difficult thing in football transition generation be ended. It can be the technical team. It can be the playing body. Or more a free war. And what's it new a be taking over. Start transition from one state to the other. No, the most difficult thing in football. So one win year, a bit me a great team and not say team nina. Now, legend, see, baby, a genesis, you know, Manchester United situation. You have said Ten Hag, Barabes and Roma. It's a systematic failure. It's a systematic problem in the whole. I just say Ten Hag, Bano Barabes system nina. So person say why is systematic failure. Some few days ago, near blaming Harry Maguire, legend. You Maguire free set up on him. Manchester United problem in eternity. Every single player within the setup today is feeling at Manchester United. You are this belief said there are a lot of Manchester United players who you are more than other class more. They will perform well because system near Juma. Because it's a omunya system in place. Every single player in Manchester United setup no a struggle. And that's the problem at Manchester United today. And Yansha set a hag about betting about Sanoma. Now Manchester United betting up performing. Arsenal Football Club, legend. Game na money Tottenham Hotspur Bobono. It's more like a Champions League football. It's more like a Champions League final. That game, sir, a win for you qualifies you for the Champions League. That is the first step.
A win for them doesn't.
A win for them and qualify automatically, but hope a position to qualify for the Champions League. And a drawn game for Arsenal Football Club also a good 10 for Arsenal Football Club. And either a win or a drawn game. Lose, defeat, and yet. But more ball game no ever Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah.
More ball game no ever Tottenham Stadium. And it makes it very, very difficult. Content knowing say. So when you start 3 points in our qualification for Champions League, no, so I close. And this game, you know, it's just like Real Madrid a Liverpool Champions League final. This season, Arsenal youngsters, you know, born again some youngsters now. The kind of performance of their mind, you know, is one you bet me applauded, and it's the more reason why coach a friends and make Arteta or me extending the contract and Ediama coach a friends and make Arteta. And so legend that is it. Todd Bowley about Chelsea or more bonus. It was a good also luck. Oh sir.
na boy the quite equalizer by
but when it come or reaction be said during incident be and a go back on no bohre my minimum going to go back or then session and no bohre my minimum so yeah better see and also basic so legend Siriana so interesting Siriani interesting but it's still open because of features
and is decided on
top one they decided some kind of Saturday no Napoli Juve Inter Milan 2 points in a derby between Inter and AC Milan per fixtures no be beat Messi per fixtures no
so monya vim
fixtures na den kakra de momo o hwe 2-2 na aka na
okay yeah all right Garden ben I mean koju on afi
yeah so say if I hear commentary say obi enei enyin tum say esas na ma make Ateta an contract extension na me surprise kakra maybe I won't follow Arsenal and how they struggle recently. So yes, 1 year league maybe on my top 4 Arsenal called Champions League since 2017. But since Oteki over, so here how Arsenal progression even though slowly, but you can see say he's working. And I'm not surprised he was first appointed as a coach, later on elevating the position and manager. Because now they've seen something in him, so he can do the job. Now, so I asked, and I said, since 2017, Uncle Champions League, you know what it means. And as it stands now, with 9 points at stake, and will lead the difference between one no any closest team, I'll be maybe in a top 4 near 5.
A4 number.
A4, good. A4. Mizuto, he's more or less. So the Roma can say AS Roma or more elbow conference fan and a Champions League fan. As long as want to believe, we say Arsenal making it to the top 4 is like Arsenal winning the league. And Arsenal is like they are winning the league because Arsenal struggle not started even long before Alex Ferguson Ofriho.
Wenger.
As a Wenger Ofriho. And the more you know every buy and far and away buy and so say if with the team I don't know who you argument with I agree with you. Look at the players of Arsenal. How our Apple players will be game. And Edin Ketia is becoming Arsenal darling boy today. But a lot of people would have said earlier on said Timer the Gabonese striker Air Corner Aubameyang Air Corner. Many would have said then we one of the best scored number. And I watched that player against Chelsea, how he scored that 2 goals. And I want him against Leeds United, that 2 goals. At a crucial stage, the defender run in no. Alongside other top players and these young players are more improve. And I remember that I told me how to know the money this. But we thought say Arsenal and conquer that first class players, no. But those that look like that say Yarujo Tombino Arsenal. So for the coach to put this squad together.
Ask the Italians or more them.
No, I'm saying that one or two.
Arsenal
is a general statement. But now another household name.
But he was a very good player. The scouts did well.
No, especially who's a Jiboa who follow Italian league. No, ever cannot say Emma, if you are getting
problems, no other guys.
And that's no problem. But a lot of people were considering say Arsenal was cut at that time. Arsenal, come market a player. That is young number 2 Arsenal from your number for Bobo. Being any party of Bacachos or come house. I just be only boom. Maybe any part because when you only boom out, what can some statement a change? A change prosper, so I say, oh,
play or yard, and I said only boom.
I just don't know. It depends on whether you follow. We are very critical. A follower of that league in India. Before the even though no nyagine. Me follow no nyagine.
Nani bo ma follow say.
So obi very leagues no. Maybe results be our pay. Not necessarily individual players your person or more. So I think putting these players together because I think he's done a woman's job to deserve that. It did me tell my colleague Zakito Ekas and Raho na you know and na me absent na me of day. Na me yapa. Say because nobody Manchester United example. And say if Ravnonic,
they are good dialogue.
Because I'm not more
qualities in India. Our boy.
They are good.
I want to know his qualities. I wish I
know. Is it that bad? Is it that bad?
see a him.
He's a good passer of the ball.
Why?
Yes, that Dalo boy.
Passer
of the ball. He also the ability to search forward.
That one passing ball, man.
Oh yeah, no. No. What for me opinion?
I'm going to check in the stars.
Not check it to me as the mommy.
Now, boys, what be for you, Dalor.
So I think that putting these players together, he's done a good job. I think that the 3 games left, you know. And then recently, I think I thought in Arsenal. It was to me, I predicted, but recently I said, and so then all that rosy for Arsenal playing against Tottenham. Yeah, almost stadium home. And the money and looking at Tottenham game on Liverpool boy. So if Tottenham, what I say, Tottenham game on Liverpool boy, so if they can reproduce that performance, then you are in for a big game. Okay. You are in for a big game. So I think it has been a good.
And men come Manchester, Papa be after me. Say Osreme. Na say they are Missika Manchester so ya show more for Saturday no.
Osremenka.
Mamenka.
So almost say
you have an influence.
Yeah, this influence.
This influence.
I only
anyhow be funny. Anyhow be funny be Matthias. See influence you.
This is a big one.
When I say.
Then define influence.
Yeah, about in so many forms.
Influence.
When I saw TV as when I saw TV as BB influencing that. Is to what hey. You will never be brand new football and now one semba you will not see it because of relationship no influence.
There's a more technical way they use. Recuse. Very recuse.
I know say can influence no. A normal in life and it's part of any single human being. Say influence,
the power to affect, control or manipulate something or someone, the ability to change the development of fluctuating things such as conduct, thoughts or decisions.
Exactly, that's what the man have done to this man.
Can be I said that
Penina Samatete no. Would the Bem said don't question you and influence.
Because as a penny will fear as a 1 day.
When he
then it becomes as a 1 force on your day.
Just a company if you are
after Pep game of boy against Newcastle and Mathieu Pep after an elimination from the Champions League, and it looks like who's a Champions League now affecting a power, but amount for so at the new America far. Say Pep on fast City in Champions League, say Pep free Barcelona in Champions League. So that's him. That's him. We are can't. But amount for it. Moya too. There are certain coaches so much more at certain clubs. Yeah, the Champions League in T. The bagas of one idea. Say what they mention. I say.
And or no piece half flat gate no. Because Liverpool had the Champions League. Now league the 30 years omunyadi. No, back up no magic. I don't just say what that flat gate.
You're talking about the pedigree of the club.
But also everybody's talking about the pedigree of Pep as a coach.
No.
The club is very important.
The pedigree of Liverpool as
the club is very important.
And the pedigree of Pep as a coach, a top-notch coach.
But
he's probably the best in the world.
No coach has won the Champions League. Clubs that win the Champions League.
But coaches lead clubs to lead Champions League.
So coach, he
has failed to do that in his 2 clubs.
Champions League Biano. He did it with a certain club.
My mentor.
Coach Biano.
Coach now share Pep Guardiola last week in the Champions League. He coached Bayern Munich when we need Champions League. He coached a club, expanded to say Manchester City PSG when we need Champions League.
I thought this one are winning.
Maybe.
AC Milan is a traditional.
Ask yourself why he has won the Champions League at Real Madrid and AC Milan, but when we need at Chelsea, Bayern, and then PSG.
So that you say Pep
nobody is saying that. Nobody is saying that. You ever see a chess? Ejuma Bena club, Anya or Dortmund. But in the name of Koya Power was final and eventually Bayern Munich won it. Hey, Oji Bundesliga with Borussia Dortmund. They said Obeji. By the end of the day, Obeji League with England no. Because Liverpool here traditional Champions League side, he has won the Champions League with Liverpool. It's the best me chene say. Ma yemfa Pep no kwa because there are other coaches or Makwa clubs are in the Champions League history. And the football no Miloto said the city no. Ya kan ho asema ba na amamfo ntiase. See yes sir, what he has done in the Premier League. What he has done in the Premier League. Yen cherish adwuma na Pep Guardiola we in the Premier League no. The success you fight by interval. Number of years he has spent in the English Premier League ni trophies league na wagina. No coach and now when the same space our dominating Premier League ni sir. It's your Michael oh no Barcelona no champion yes. Oko Barcelona ubaje Champions League. Se team ne ye na nyoma nyina ekoya. Easier to win the Champions League at Barcelona than Manchester City. In football nyoma bebre ne wom. Sometimes kwa players na be kwa to omo no. Enye easy say obekọ club ya benya the same players.
Perhaps say he was lucky to have Messi.
Oh yes.
And
every
Barcelona.
Say me dey be America say.
Say that he was blessed to have
na say coach bi a waje coach
na watch say players so wanya wo mo say na say Champions League dey I know they be here can
about G League Bofana.
You are not talking about
this one be conference run na.
Say no he
Bofanas
top 4 na.
Kaka mo the finance account.
Kaka Tottenham ne Arsenal ya atwe Chelsea rem.
And na me coach yes analysis no.
Omo ya atwe Chelsea rem.
The only time at Chelsea baby I be count. You see Chelsea rem.
Mami
Cho, the reason why Chelsea in count. Is that Tottenham? There is no way on making my Chelsea.
Points gap in saying.
Points gap in the year. Chelsea was 67 points. Arsenal was 66.
Tottenham was
62.
4 points.
Okay. So between Tottenham and Chelsea, 5 points.
3 matches to go. 9 points.
Okay. The only time at Chelsea beat my bad part is when they fail to win their next game. Not Tottenham be winning. And Ukraine be 67 65
66 65
with 2 games to go.
Yes.
And we are talking about Chelsea here.
And also near
3 matches to go.
And also near say Chelsea for the nonsense resource no munya no.
But
you see, so if Arsenal wins, now Arsenal move to 69.
And I say you have from.
And now you wait from now for Tottenham about Chelsea, Arsenal and all that. And Zane Bay. So
Omudo mashim. Based on number of matches na can the points na can they are
part of it.
Arsenal kwan mo me part, Tottenham mo me part.
Mo me part.
Because
mo me part. So only did the 5. Near was 9 points to go. Who should be? Who should be?
Instantly.
Mate jogging club comments after Liverpool and Tottenham game no. And I don't know why. Say football a defining star. I have more football and some Obenya results. And if there is a game this season, Liverpool na beja to me say they struggled in the game a Saturday game number against Tottenham Hotspur no. Conte chess when in Liverpool to know how to stop them. Or chess when in team no and know how to stop them. Enti metie club comments no. Na eye mo akakra. Even when Tottenham question mo go no, their only goal of the game. They had about 11 solid passes. Liverpool for 9 and Campbell.
Who take club comment? Club nesina omu defend. I hate that kind of football.
That kind of football.
Okay. Antonio going to be replying. Before Thursday, we're telling you.
Enti, also me catch you Saturday and say. Me catch you Saturday and say. You too. Sedge games no. And no your body man Antonio Conte. Said your Conte City no games you think say you're very difficult the man side. Whereby on the side maybe almost standard war from players or what maybe more quality in dual position no. And no map up strategy to get results. And me go to coaches am home more asasi so. Minim so no so ne dia Nyankopon de man no a. See a 1 week interval, see a prepare team. E dia konya results a. coach bi enu yen better than Antonio Conte ba ne de ne say
Thursday onya enu 1 week
ba ne de ne say
Thursday enu 1 week
ne de ne say so we go for European football na Champions League bi shema na Europa Cup bi shema you not get the best in Antonio Conte by say 1 week on steady team number there be a Conte perfect me wie wo Syria no the two they say there be a kone there ade na yakọ Casa Milan anu no yes and game na de trophy no whether say they be ko Casa Milan na emfa ko Casa Milan no no game na Milan Verona boy no
they say they done deal
that same venue Edina Milan twice Scudetto 73 and then 1990 Nello Rocco side in 1970 then Arrigo Sacchi side in the 90s
right
it's Enra how Milan control the game won the game betting Goldie against Hellas Verona no say their next 2 games almost against Atalanta then their last game of the season against Sassuolo no mizoto a very difficult say Inter Milan will find a way of stopping AC Milan from winning the Italian Serie A for the 2021-2022 season.
Okay, so you have declared.
Oh, say me that Saturday me catch what I say. Say game be decide this season now. It's a game. But once your boss season you ma be bracing. Time Milan take against Lazio. Time Milan share goal against Fiorentina. How Milan recover after Verona share first goal. Ebe share 3 goals ma again here 3-1 no. Say season do stage way. Now say side be a cause moment ni ma. It's difficult to stop them.
Good. That's not cause moment no.
That
be difficult to stop them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's now winning 4 matches.
Thursday be can.
Thursday match in there and can decide that.
And can decide no. I don't know can decide no.
Now I got 3 matches.
Now 3 matches no. About Tottenham Thursday we are. The following week. Mubo Newcastle. Muko Newcastle.
5-0 no.
What's it?
5-0 no na yo mo.
Yo ya te.
Na Baba Champions League.
Ma Baba Everton.
Adam read bed.
O de tie
Everton is o me free.
Hweye na ye be wie no.
O da na say me catch us as na.
Tie. Me pese me catch us say.
Ato.
Hweye ni ye be wie no. Lutu ye be wie no. Wa metena me ka say ateta kura.
Ateta e wa ya de.
Be de me na pese.
I like man 5 years.
It's mudi FIFA ateta ya de.
You need FIFA.
Maybe some question.
They are going to say.
Me say na dey see Saturday ni nka bibi nkyerɛ wo.
Well, Saturday
nka bibi nkyerɛ wo.
I Tottenham there.
Yes, because me say na game and him say Liverpool will win. Take Tottenham out from the race. Then mo na mo kro no.
Watching live from London, because they will win the league. But I was disappointed yesterday. There are interesting messages here. Intina me kind of test message on film before. Or say ya sebese or gospel babbling inside Amokum. Congrats to Asan for victory over Leeds. Sadat say time during the match between Madrid and Man City show. That 2 minutes is very long time. My brothers, let no one deceive you again. Somebody say yes. Okay, then Crespo say AC Milan are heading towards to win the first Scudetto since 2011. They have no excuse than to win the remaining 2 games against Atalanta and Sassuolo. I see Akatu.
Yeah.
Wow. Suleiman Abdulaziz said good morning. I'm Aziz watching live from Dubai. Greetings to my family and friends at Bohun. What do you believe? Please, you guys should do La Liga calculations for us. I want to know if Barca can win the title. After Real Madrid will surely lose all the rest of their games. No, Oyibo Boateng say, "Hi, this wasn't the expected result, but half a loaf is better than none." Kotoko will win the league. Fabulous, the greatest. Oyibo Boateng, big as Sam was. A good morning, or pastors keep the fire burning inside UAE. Michael Uswekes, yesterday's game at Baba Yara Stadium was very beautiful. The guys played very well, but hard luck gave us 1 point. We thank God for that. Oh, Ogum.
And George, and Nanabewa, Mami. And then,
you need Mami boat.
We see boat, Nanabewa, and George.
What's the
I say, why you know? And I feel, oh,
you need Mami way outside. What's the name Mami boat? I'm very boat.
Down, but I know when you're 73 years.
Oh, fine. Nanabewa, Mami.
Yes,
Nanabewa, Mami.
Boat, Mami.
And about Condes. And
George.
And George.
Yeah.
And I only seen.
And I'm a new
great.
Edika,
who only senior. And I'm a Bansan and a Diaba. Kwamumi onu die. O die mo. Azan wa ba me ni edi. Mo che bed ma.
E chende Nyankopon de ma Israel no.
Senior so I said that for more so yeah.
I catch him.
I'm say weekend here. 1 week here. Also be am one ho.
Why 1 week here.
1 week no be e wo nkran ho na odoko ho no no. But I'm say yen there e bebe fie.
E be you obi am na.
Asa
onu ba no I'm say the obeko no enhye da hia se na be ya
o meka sa.
Who about the giant? You better I go born some for Ade.
Tama. Sir, prosper war issue with ABA in some trouble a casafa ne position or the usage of the player. And also say me who can say me can na semwa. Also who can say o chena do family mini problem. But when you suggest, say, one, you don't listen to.
For Obi, I think by popular request.
On to your programs and what have you, and probably discuss it. You see, the problem with our football, and it's not only about that gender.
Because, what are 2 hours?
Tell her, a football now, the two ho, first comment, and say, on Tony Bukakano, maybe be their custom. Coach. Wo adwuma ye coach no ye betra ye kasa wo on adwuma ye coach no me nyam na be ka cha mankwana se onye ne nkobo ball nyam adwuma no se me ka cha mankwana se onye ne nkobo ball a e be for me part of nsema bia me pesa me ka no but in terms of amankwana be deliver on the field of play there e ono and he has not done it once, he has not done it twice, he has had several times to speak about amankwana. And Ama supporters say Amankuna is not a good player. Like Jibo kind of Tama, Amankuna Kotoko spent a fortune to bring him to the club. On one kasa coach voice the Albana no pay me I confirm me say Amankuna was a tormentor in chief, and it explains why on recommendation go fanimra. It is why your tormentor in chief why recommendation go fanimra moi. Usin bakono why emotional. Usin bakono why emotional. When you are Ankasa, I will say the tormentor in chief that tormented you in your career as a coach. And when your opportunity to kono, why recommendations for the tormentor in chief so that he will torment other teams? Or buy a Roman opportunity to torment other teams. What's me a musao? When I go to paying a fortune for him? You can't say emotional. Of course I will be emotional. Why won't I be emotional? Why won't? Because sensationalism there. And he's a doctor in psychology. Me men will be that we are some animal. Sensationalism is a part of Medjuma. He must know. I have every right to sensationalize if I want to. 20 men can't say but he must deliver by getting Amankwana to play. That is why he brought him to torment other teams. So if Amankwana is not tormenting other teams, it is his job. It's not my job. Because I'm paying Coach Prosper Ogumnate for Amankwana to torment other teams. Tell them about them tell us. Because I'm not paying him some Amankwana to bench. Because I'm paying Ogum so that Amankwana will torment other teams. Tikanu na kwa tia jomano na kwa madyo na hushisho msa pa na jumano no Ogum jumano no Ogum jumano no anye bafa we jumano no bafa we jumano say Ogum amama nkuna torment aduana betra ha na mabeka Ogum why adio amama nkuna torment aduana pa ma bo abaso eti sa amankuna timi torment aduana bo abra wa wonu mi se we torment in chief dia ese buso wasam ese buso wasam we susu yaka we say you emotional me nya emotional ka me na den me nya emotional ka me na den
abo wasam bu fra enko
tama
time
start for issue statement be when I read the statement I knocked my head on the wall.
A figurative expression.
So no. Oh no. I saw go by into be no eliminate I saw go by. Tama. You
why is serious statement to? Or sorry go by or by no. Na zo go ahead. No go ahead. Orosu don come am because to us like neju am o say oh me. I agree with Siasi on this score. Proximity is also a key determinant in respect of your job at Oripa. You know your men more than anyone else. But I agree with you that the coach was overcome with emotions for making public pronouncements about the player's performance. Even though I agree with him, this player has come short of my expectation. The player can make amends though, if he takes the criticisms in good faith. Okay, then he comes again. Osudonko, thanks for the playback. Prosper's statement is as harmless as anything. If anything at all, he was honest and fair to the player. Okay. The newly elected or maintained treasurer. Ncheso constituency na MPP. The one of but for account 2 minutes before.
Tama, me 2 minutes no.
Yeah.
Eka assembly. Step at force Ghana Football Association for investigate sa hostage na you held and I can say you hold you know in Swatraman for no. And I'm at a loss. First thing I expect from step at 4. So I'm disassociate or mafia no one. I'm report to police. Because a hostage assembly I can know. Tama, say will be hostage a criminal if I'm right. So there's a football aspect of it. But there's also a criminal aspect of it.
That is if it confirmed that there was some amount of incarceration.
Tama, it's a born again boy. There are pictures.
Yeah, to them, yeah, now where no be true plum. Nay, near see piano or tree more. I said, or there are 2 cells.
So that person will have to be held responsible.
Baby, I wouldn't so me too much also to more ban or be here. And on your way.
And look at the time frame was what?
Young confirm they were held hostage.
If you read
incarceration.
Tama, so if you read almost statements on my issue now, it doesn't look to me like no credit.
Okay.
Statement, you know, though Omo and no credit, but it doesn't look to me like no credit. Rather than they are call on the FA. Tama, I see here a pictures now. I surface, you know, and I think this is barbaric as well as the Bafo Academy for supporters in here, you know.
Okay. Bafo, that's it. Tiasi and Twaso. Captain incarceration, the state of being confined in prison or imprisonment, the public will not be served by her incarceration. So when you are confined in prison,
okay,
and even incarceration.
Who's the same? When it comes to these areas, you are top of that.
The police administration.
And I am but. What was that?
Psychology.
Technical language now we have to as a sanka ohodo. Now you to me
Maza 12 the time best
police administration. Mr. Cho, after listening to Coach Ogun ne tape no, I think say many Chabosu don't go be arguing.
Yes.
And yet as that dangerous so they now obi ebe kanono. So where Mr. Cho, he was talking reality.
Is the captain issues?
He was talking reality.
Issues like this. The entire I've decided say you need a certain level of understanding. I'm saying that you are someone you can't want.
That one is true.
Now, Jose Mourinho, he's had issues with his directors and then board near there because of some of these things.
Yeah.
On said ne, young man said, "Who got to play and put us a same one." And that's I'm talking about top management decisions. Now, when you create a certain impression, the value of the player comes down.
That one is true.
So one would expect say, the young fan say, Amankuna has lived up to expectation. Kotoko may want to cash in. Same fan say if even there's a decision to let him go. But comments like this, no. A man won't be him if somebody wants to buy him.
Yeah.
But you see, you may not appreciate position now. Maybe for say yes, but the coach was listening to him again, frustrated because somebody sat on radio and discussed his decisions. And then instead of probably addressing it in a way, no, and no fan say journalists for me can't someone. So Wakasa Amana Ubiaye, every journalist in a way is seen as that. That's why I don't listen. Out of me is anger and frustration. That's why I don't listen to. I want to believe Coach Prosper Ogun might have listened to one radio station before. But I'll say That's why I don't listen to you guys. So the point some of us are making as a coach, if you listen to young cry, radio be by a fellow colleague radio station can sit in his radio and insult you. So the fact that one or two radio stations decide to discuss your tactics or your decisions on a mankuna, don't make it a function of your press conferences. And then address the media. That's the point we are making. Good. Say you are almost liked by almost everybody. I mean, Professor Ogum, doctoral researcher. Some of us are enthused because pedigree now. Yeah. What can I say? But when you begin to, and that's why I don't listen to you. You are emotional. You are sensational. You are influenced. And not if people think you should go that way, fine.
No, I won't advise him. Say
it's fine.
I won't advise him. Say anytime. One day, but one day, because Simna says, "Oh, address here." Then you address. Then you go. But I think say because me pick it.
Oti. A teacher wo. School saying, "Oh, baby, I'm reaching." Oh, say why nyako. Say Coach Ogum could have gone the Davido way by saying, let's talk about today's game, and then gone ahead to talk about the performance in yesterday's game.
There's a communication guy.
Okay, David. Okay. All right.
So to me, person be hwe amankuna player no in the no game no. In fact, I was highly disappointed in Asante Kotoko, and I said one here draw. It is because supporters no me to keep you mute because Kotoko looks like say omo lead no is one assailable and for that Ombeji league no. I don't know. Now they were not troubled. Other than that, any day be a Kotoko, I work serious competition. I toe to toe with any team, whether being House of Folk or any other team, and can not and can talk this way as possible. Go again, I got score 5 goals. Now, Mr. Two, almost Aje and Sambo, no more. Obi Omako winning bonus. Adiana, and now team no, to be honest with you, Obi Biano, Senye, one of the poorest Adiana team I represent in a season. What has him to do? It's not a surprise. Lose games be. But in a whole lot of things, a player of his caliber. Many believe because some kai pams to kai. Some say as a one. If there's one person, I'll pick the campaign of Amankona me. Now me free say ne boy amahwe. And say who no skitu kotoko. But let's get this right. The fact that you was playing in Chelsea. No, yeah, more darling boy, the boy no. And say oba so oba kotokwa and say obetman produce the same kind of stuff at the match and kotoko. But when a player so when you be the opportunity to play, now coach who say yes, you've arrived, we want to play, so you don't resort to the man away no park. And now on why man corona no competition now so I say at least 1 or 2 goals for Asante Kotoko begging opportunities but now go penalty. You see the point? Minim de na now, Abraham Soto, you had the chance to score, right? Rather than say over elaborate air challenge says you know on Chelsea. Obwa.
And I'm follow programming.
Yes,
I don't agree to the headline of Harry on the Insuateman Tamale City. Masada na mningi kind message no but he said na Inko also said the branch manager friend Salom dear Ado so T program but na Inko is already brekum
I want to Chelsea Akara
na say Salom Salome ana Salome woni SALOME
Salom
na Salom okay. We'll say no so monitor he likes our program.
Okay. And say, for the love of my old man, I'm taking another rescue mission.
Trust him.
Yes.
Trust him.
Although it's very difficult. It is equally possible.
I say can not wait when you 1 point.
God no go shame us.
Moses.
God no go shame us. Next game against Tachima Fui.
Hey! You know I want this.
Hey, the next league fiction. When's the neighbor? You want me to game? Say it. Maybe we can hold on. You know when the book.
What a game.
Legend. Academic doctor spoke or try say obetche media no kwan emfaso yenye adwuma nkakra. I think in the first place or started well interview na meeting no. Or started very very well. Say o share na media no person mu push no. Say even amankona no kra no nko on rate no. Enka on rate amankona in a scale of 1 to 10. And take it bianca amankona na nko mo expect say coach be say oh oba e dey so far 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 5. The coach didn't do that. That was a very smart one on the part of the coach. Very, very intelligent. So, doctor started intervening in response to questions. You know, he started very, very well. And he says, Amankuna should back up. All these comments from the initial stages of no response, very, very fine. Very, very, very fine. But at some point in time, and no matter what they blame media, no, and no be chain, or no one can see be chain. He himself, he got very, very emotional. Ono ankasa no, si bi o starting here no, went me keep the composure. And found kuwie. Ono ankasa got very emotional. Na nya bi enchada hamiu, wo ye nipa. Enchada hame kra. Wo legend what tell kro ye ma wa jadwuma ya che, eni didi mochi. Na said there coach ye maybe one what the Bashir for on wa catch ye tenanimo and was some obi an kofa na SS results mra wa go school everybody should go to the senior high school and me go fetch champions and come tenanimo na ma ko my friend Jaconua say mpacho your headmaster me certificate papa bi se me famra no me results was obi an kofa na results senior high school results certificate on famra sometimes and then see your coach Otuado and they qualify. One coach or no being a banter serious in this. Say sometimes it slips off. But send over catcher media say we should tell Amankuna, young country Amankuna say pigeon and modern ball, and we should stop.
I one side.
What's I one side?
You're always talking about the coach. You don't tell the player.
We don't tell the player. In the first place, that statement alone means that he has given Amankuna up. Say Amankwa mbon humbody nti yen kan kire Amankwa so ompija the performance no. Doc, you shouldn't have given the boy up.
Has he really given up?
That is how
other coaches do say.
No, it's a fine bet. Say other coaches yes as some na baby American ha. It goes on everywhere. But some ya enche say me pa cho say. The fact is say coaches be ayen wa ha no. In life we learn from the best practices. Pa cho you. And to the fact is that coach be a making these statements somewhere no and it is a practice we have to learn and copy. No. Dr. Nathan started on a very good note. But at some point in time, the emotional aspect of blame media no, that emotional aspect and Dr. Ogum. And to Doc Mr. Amankuna is a player, he came on a very good form. It is the responsibility of the coach. So bet me identify idea, bet me a pijama Amankuna performance. Now Amankura timi ama Kumasi Asante Kotoko ade a friend value for money and the kind of salaries as our place we say moji and to coach wadwuma yeah be take something out of it, but the reality is that the work of the coach to help to uplift the performance of a brand friend say Amankuna. So that is it. But okay. Mo say oko other side that mommy and fancy coach because coach na nkasa no ono so nipa just like sometimes you all get emotional. To me he got emotional at some point in time. Legend we any kwan say koye indefinite suspension yes side anano near discussion ya ban stadium no do 2 matches near 5,000. This has been the punishment all over. It moja hwegu na ekoso was venue so legend how to ntwa. Because at the moment, omunyina are aware of punishment in a bebano. Oh, indefinite 5,000, 2,000. Mr. Ketokreku, Sibia your board games we Division 1, I scary league. Division 1 and the bono. Enti obi ampeso obekọ Division 1 no. Aside send the bono e den so be front, ye bo mu chemu jagu. Meaning why say football club ekwa competition na ye embrace ye ho for blast belt and ye ho se moja shegu o pitch so na yetime ja players egu basim na ye catch am say lie down mo rewra seat na say because mo attack through the windows of the bus na players no mo gu basim mo do muti e seat na say because obi ba betu bibia fa wa there is no protection, there is no security. and legends watch adem one say games na ekwoso aya na moja hwegu ni nyina no games are ultimate say we besi you have to anticipate say dey way and what say esie and say what beef up security omonye but eventually say moja no go hwegu a omo say stadium na yes and home venue no indefinite 5,000 everything so that is not the way to go. So approach na JF4 you so no it's not solving it's not curbing the issue. And to Mr. They should give the legend come here birthday wish we am because me maybe tell me maybe my na mam wish we me braba ko wife ye nyina ye wife a daughter Ampon e wo Nottingham and a wife Mrs. Florence Ajay Kudua and Mrs. birthday inti Mrs. Yen show happy birthday from her husband Mr. Ampon inti yen show happy birthday very good character and to Mrs. Yen show birthday
when Obi question the decision of a coach selecting maybe a player be ahead of a different player as I see it you live on this earth by views wajuni ni misumajuni ni atoatoa ni nyina yeko sometimes some words biana funny kaka so because hana we interest we take decisions by interest if you see yetihani yetihani you take decisions by interest why na se baby owo awotie ye ne o see the decisions I will take no whether it will favor wu nipa koro na who take decision no and ebe favor obi. And we take decisions by interest. We take decisions by influence. That's what I say. We take decisions by influence. Me some akasa asem we say. Me too. Kotoko supporter, journalist, one you. Obeka so ade na mankona bo. That is his right. Nso na adwene no. And me am me strike am here. Nobody can convince me say amankona ball no ball na nura ene de ball no wafa no enye better than the Dixonafo kwa ehye kotoko jesi obo obia ni ho betimi convince me say Dixonafo kwa ball na no ogina park so bo no enye better than amankona de na obo no untimi san convince me say time na amankona out of the team na kotoko kobo game na Sheriff Mohammed akobo the right side of kotoko attack better than some amankona jina obo. Nobody can convince me. It is Obika Sasam and I know what you say. And no game na your boy no. Bizoto. Clearly, fine Kotoko say penalty. By me how I see the game management was poor from the technical team of Kotoko. Fine, almost say 2 penalties in time. At a certain point, second penalty ni say no. BBS should tell you say there was no way Kotoko was going to score. It's just some few minutes to end the game. Who's a players are tired? Maybe so. I didn't think a coach 9 years substitution because no what chance to make 5 substitutions to bring in fresh legs. Whether you want to attack, whether you want to sit deep to defend, because stage na yedu no. Kotoko here more points than Boa Efe. Kotoko here more points than Boa Efe. So to the mention I say. Enti media memeji to me say dey jam bese me ko me say on the journalist part say me tena na me assess me ho na me full any statement na work and fam make bi. But what I'm trying to say is say every single decision our prosper be take Kotoko o take because of the interest. Say me confess sometime abegina park
interest of the club.
Ono so interest kan on na say anko ya.
Say the interest of the club.
Bizoto there be nyeni nyina na tie.
Oh, now
at the end of the day,
the interest of it.
At the end of the day, Mr. Two, see if I say prosper club ni betin aka say. This said there are club ni your structures be brave. Maybe a management can come in, board can come in, but assume si board bentin. But he can tell you say me na mo training ground, so me na me so we betin abo. That is his interest.
Because he wants results.
But there are other structures within the club that they will challenge it. But see ebowie na be a prosper de ne bema. He took a good decision. For
the club.
For no, myself. For myself. It's me. What I'm trying to say is say, in all this, seriously, because the last 5, 6, 7 games, I'm not impressed about how the team is playing. Kotoko last 5, 6, 7 games. I'm not impressed about how the team is playing.
Right.
Also, the Biana Mekase, and na okay, last season when has CG League now, I me make that statement say Kotoko has when winning the league shouldn't be the ultimate because at the end of the day, who winning league Akoba Africa? It's the standard of the team, the performance of the team. Say na Kotoko Boba judge it to Africa, you know. Me to asma American what am I say? It's when I sit down and watch the team carefully. I think
as Amoja name Bella ni Tuga. My
problem kakrebi. Bafo Academy why there?
Honorable Ignatius Bafo Awia.
And then Swat man say why there?
I'm saying there.
Now then the team you never could on in the same division.
I need directors no registration.
Directors did the registration. Me too. Adena Yokoso. Last year, unim do moye. Bafo for no. Ebo league na man Swateman.
Ubafo na Bafo for na bamu.
And I make us say this season no.
On set the team has always been Bafo no. And na Tony.
Eton Swateman man no. Say Swateman no, in Swateman na a what chance of qualifying to the Premier League next season. It's baby o moduru no Bafo ne born matches e man Swateman. Say what you say.
Alleged.
Enya alleged is true.
They go to.
I never go to say. Now we have park na no more years the last season. Omo dey ban top sa park na so. RTU ko ho mu bu RTU ko mu ko amanfo sa park na so refi. Eti sa de no mu hwehwem. Adan na nipa ba ko de team gina teams bi enu gina division ba ko.
Agent directors.
Directors bay.
Okodia.
Me no me no tie na mbusa question. On say what tie unim say Bafo.
Yeah, nim no.
Bafo Academy.
Na no BYF o man ga say Dr. Kwame Chedia.
And I me say.
Bio registration.
Mizoto.
Ne badia.
Mizoto what tie. Sa skills ne sa anyo man no. Eno na he. Unim say Dabi, unim say is it Bafo na say nso ateman. Ba ko beko tamale enche. Besa ko biem. Ade na ekoso wo ho no. Ya hwe ya ye bekum ni po. So what year audio no time Tamale City for no ete bus nim no mo shout on their bus driver ye ni temo no mo beku ye ebo no mo deba ye timi tu bo bi si bue mawu since when
na Tamale for nkan bue mawu
udo betia tie yi na dey say ye wo account players bi do mo bo Tamale City udo ko
me kasa be nkan bue mawu no
twi kasa yes udo me audio no me dey me si me ma audio no atie ade na ekoso wo ho no so to see yan hwe ni ya and they send a bad image to teams that won't have
because that's too much ban na the mark to ne hard but one here we can say you are in
see a bobo we ball keke aye dey to park so aye bobo na we ya so to uchi wu ni afa bo de bonani achi wa bodam
Tino you remember that say captain have a chance here then Tino yankwa
in the wonder balm help care ointment the magic ointment and pay mo amukopiem ewo Josu Zongo Junction no Dr. Chesem first stroke nemra hepatitis B nemra pressure nemra and cry no ayem puo omo no yesu cerebral palsy no one dey waje no ahwe ne kama 0243 035-898 UK Spine Clinic ehona Ghana for kwa na fei oboka kwoto se omo manya kwenhye nyina no yedoma koguo no mo sanse ahoto beba obepia firi ono no na wu sampo wanya kwenhye mpo obi nso ono mo de sciatic pains na ekọ obi di stroke sanso no obi twa no ko wantwa ne kotodwe africhi di afa ho a sanye man nyina no ekoko wie wo ahojo